Yes, we kind of did a little impromptu. There's been a lot of talk recently, John. We've talked about it, and it's been it's been all over Twitter, and it's still going. It's that old school versus new school player thing. Are they killers? And we did talk about that. Before we went on there, you had said, I'm pretty sure we've beaten that one up pretty good. But
the internet's beating it up pretty good, but
yeah. Well, you know how some people got to pick low tier. They just got to stick with it. So.
Yeah.
It sounds like though that there hasn't really been a consensus on that. But I thought I thought that what would be perhaps a little more interesting and not so much less divisive, but less antagonistic maybe would be just kind of talk about the differences now that we see from when we did just get a game and there was no season. At most you got like a new version update. There was the big joke for the longest time that Capcom couldn't count to 3.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
That was a long time running gag.
Well, I mean, when you get Champion Hyper, super duper buy one get one free edition, then
even the bootleg version was still Street Fighter 2.
Like, Rainbow Edition.
Mm-hmm. Rainbow with Edition was incredible.
With like the curved sonic booms and like air DPs for whatever reason, because that made total sense.
Couldn't you just hit the start button and like cycle through your characters? And like Geef had like a full screen spinning pile driver or something like that.
Yeah. That game was dumb. That game was super dumb.
We were talking about like so obviously arcades is something that it's really tough for them. And American arcades, Western arcades didn't do very well because we are in the era of updating, which I mean as we should be. We have the technology, we have the capabilities. In my opinion, I think we should. Just because something is a certain way doesn't mean it has to remain that way. But I think that it's important for people to remember that, that old saying goes a long way. Give me the strength to change what I can, the wisdom to know what I can't. And some people think that if they scream long enough, loud enough, and they get enough people to join them, that something will change. When really what might need to change is their approach. What do you think?
I mean, I agree 100%. I was honestly thinking about that earlier today. It's just, it feels like with games, if the game doesn't play the way that they want it to play, then oh no, it's the game is wrong, or the game is this or the game is that, as opposed to back in the day. I mean, there's a reason why I only play a handful of games, is because I'm not great at certain aspects of games, like Marvel, for instance. I can follow Marvel, but I can't play it worth a damn. Like, I get freed up pretty easily, but it's just it's not a fault with the game. It's just doesn't. It's not something that I like gel with. So it's. Mm-hmm. I feel like a lot of people get caught up on trying to put the square peg in the round hole. It's like, well, I'm just going to keep running into this wall until I like it, as opposed to, well, maybe this isn't for me. Maybe play something else, or I mean, that's kind of how I feel about it. But
do you think there's a little bit of I mean, we've talked a lot about accountability and a lacking of it, and one of the appeals to team-based games is, maybe not so much an appeal, but a toxic byproduct is the blame game. It's not my fault. This person did this. Oh, I'm dead. Why didn't you come and help me? There's no accountability. And so in a one-on-one game, you're left with one of 3 things to attack, and really only 2. One is your opponent.
Yeah.
Oh, they're not honorable. They're not this, that, whatever.
Dude, not to cut you off, but that just Oh,
soft spot.
it's like, oh, all he does is mash, or he doesn't know.
Grab.
All he does is grab. All he's doing is lows, and it's like,
you just hop kick. You're not good.
Yeah, and, dude. No, don't even get me started on that one. It's like you or I, the average Joe makes the read. Oh, he's just mashing. He didn't know what was happening. Korean player does the same thing. Oh my god, godlike. Oh my, he had the read. Oh, it's his reactions are so amazing. It's like, okay.
You know what I think's hilarious about that, John? Have you ever talked to? It's funny. You talk to people that think that way, and you ask them, well, why is that? And then they'll try and tell you that, because they're on this next level. So there's so many more layers of what they had to go through to get that decision. And then you talk to people who are very smart, very bright people, and they repeat those same sentiments. You're like, why was that more impressive? And it's like, he just mashed out because that's what he does. He's just crazy.
Yeah.
But that person, they picked this point here to really act out of character, etc. It's just like, sounds to me like you just happen to like one better.
That's what it sounds like to me, but that's
far be it from us to point that out.
TOs here, not players of, any sort of length or anything, but I digress.
Yeah. Just our clout count isn't high enough.
Not even close.
What was funny though is one of the reasons that Dave and I got talking about it was I've got some props here with me, John. Props that were not worth getting my leg cut open for, but props nonetheless. I'm gonna show you some things here.
All right.
Yeah, I think you're gonna get a kick out of this. I think. I'm just trying to see which one is the oldest. You know what? This was one of the first really good ones. So let's go with this one. So we already knew this was a dying industry, but it was an industry that we were trying to be a part of without acknowledging that we were killing it. Not trying to speak in riddles here. I'm just trying to, kind of lead in. John, what was something that was very different? What was something that separated players back in the day, aside from passion and drive? Information, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
You got a fact sheet?
Close.
A strategy guide?
Yes, sir. I do.
The old
Second 5 strategy.
Gosh, man.
Do y'all understand how long?
Isn't that Brady Games?
This
is that Brady Games?
Yes, sir. I believe it is. God. It is Brady Games.
Wow.
And I'm going to take you on a journey here. You ready for this? First, let's look at who it's by.
Wow. That's is that Mr. Wizard? Didn't know Mr. Wizard played Tekken 5.
He didn't, but you know who did? The contributing strategists. Stop me if you've heard of a few of these.
What's up, Huda? You're an old man too. You might as well be in the stream.
Ace Roa.
Oh wow.
Is that
Ace?
Is that Ace R?
Nah,
Ace R?
No, that's
Ace R.
In the chat.
No, I'm talking about
in the book.
The contributing strategists.
Wow. Isn't Rip? Wasn't Rip in there?
So it's funny you mention that. Rip's not in this one.
Oh wait, no, he's in the Tekken 6 one, right?
Yeah, that was
was it like Rip, Anakin, Eris?
Guess who was a little bit? I wasn't really guess who was a shadow editor? And they didn't know I was a shadow editor.
Oh wow!
I was checking the work and getting to look at some of the stuff that they were working on. I got to see the zips.
This guy over here with the Illuminati status.
Yeah, I was just like, you know what? It's okay. I don't have to be there. I'll live, by proxy through you.
Gotcha.
So we got Ace R, Alex Julio,
yeah,
Alex Man.
Mark Man's brother.
Mark Man's little brother. And speaking of, Mark Julio's in there. Alex Valle's in here. The next name I see, Andy Lamb.
Oh, shit.
That man, Andy.
Hell yeah.
Mr. 725. Guess who's after Andy?
Who that?
Eris Bogdanians. Bogdanians?
Don't even ask me because I ain't trying to butcher that man's name like that.
I don't remember which screen name this is, but I do recognize the name Dan Kaplan. I'm not sure what handle that is, but right after Mr. Kaplan is one Kane.
Was it
Derek Lee?
Kaplan.
Dan Kaplan. It's a Cali player. That's all I know.
It was like Cap. It was Cap something. I can't remember. It was like Cap something, but I remember that name. Yep.
Was it JMS? No, it wasn't JMS.
Mm-mm.
Derek Lee, Jason Greason, that man, USMC Ogre.
Yeah. Kane.
Josh Park, Arario.
Yep.
Mark Julio, we mentioned. Nate Aguilera, Mr. Nathan Monster.
Yep.
Keon Griffin, a.k.a. Q-Dog.
Yep.
Juan Columbi. Not sure which name that is.
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Maybe
Sean Larsell, a.k.a. Shauno. Thomas Kim, a.k.a. Tom Hilfiger. And combos by Vic Stayart, a.k.a. Castell.
That's a piece of history right there, man.
Yep. 2004. Now, and this is a big deal because back in the day we got at best this is how you do their super secret fireball move,
bruh.
Do this super secret Paul move.
Remember before we even had that, we had fact sheets printed out on freaking dot matrix, dot matrix printers and everything.
Now what was on the arcade machine,
dude, man? Because back in the arcade, we had CyberStation. And dude, they literally printed a whole booklet of moves from Mortal Kombat and taped it up on the side of the machine.
Had the binded.
All the fatalities and everything. Yeah, man.
You pay for it with your tickets or with actual money.
Well, no. The guys who ran the arcade actually they printed it all out and stuck it on the side of the machine.
Before we had the Bamco arcades here, we had this little private one. And it might have actually been Aladdin's Castle, but they had in the redemption counter, they had an Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3 guy that you can either pay $10 for, or had to have a bunch of tickets.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Uh-oh.
And I ended up randomly winning the jackpot on one of those machines as soon as I walked in. So I scooped it up and I was going ham. I was loving it.
That's awesome.
It was even then though, like you said, the fact sheets. This is how you do the move. Stuff that you couldn't get in the instruction booklet. And we finally get, a guide. And here's the thing. There's something important though. I want to point out to you. You'll probably notice this right away. So we're gonna go to that man. Let's go to that man, Bruce. So this guy was incredible. We got all the customs. Now,
dude, the customs for 5 and DR were so good.
Oh, they were incredible. Now, John, I see move names, right?
Yeah.
I see how to do them.
Mm-hmm.
I see where they hit.
Yep.
I see how much damage they do.
Yep. Knockdown.
I see some properties. What do I not see?
Frames.
This is at a point when frames were needed, right?
Yep.
The game wasn't changing either. Oh, we've got a little good matchup, bad matchup, strengths and weaknesses, how you follow up a low parry on a punch, how to follow up a low parry on a kick, sample combos, etc. So pretty nice guide. This was kind of when things really changed. And I was a big when I stopped playing as much and was only TO, and I got big into I got support by any means necessary.
Yeah. So
I would still buy these things as they came out, Cross Tekken Guide.
And those were legit guides too. That was probably our equivalent of, say, forums and stuff like that, when you really think about it.
And yeah, before we had the forums, this was the Capcom Fighting Evolution Guide.
Yeah, that one was really good too.
Mm-hmm. This one's skinny. Yeah, this is a little skinny one.
But Brady Games made quality guides, in my opinion.
Oh, Brady Games made incredible guides. This was the one where we finally started getting frame data.
Yeah.
Street Fighter 4 guy was when we finally started getting frame data.
And then they had the online guide that was
John,
updated.
I am a liar. Wait, am I a liar or am I telling the truth?
No, okay, no, frame
data was in the back. I apologize.
Yeah. Because because once that guide came out, like shortly after they made a online guide, and you could when the versions update. Yep.
Did that one get updated?
It did for a little bit, but then eventually just kind of disappeared.
They're just like, we're not really keeping up with it. But they did update it though, the digital version at least. Oh,
yeah, they updated the digital version, and if you bought the hardcover, I think it included a code to the digital version because you couldn't. There was like some kind of unlock type thing that you would have to pay for otherwise.
I remember that vaguely. I remember that though. You're right. So I do remember that digital copy. I never heard if they updated it or not.
Yeah, they did.
That would make sense.
A couple times, actually.
What else we got here? Look how thick the damn Marvel guy is.
I mean, it's Marvel, baby.
Yeah, I mean, frame datas. I mean, breakdowns on moves, partners.
Who was a contributor for those, or for that one?
That's a good question. Let's see here.
Because if Yipes ain't in it, then it's garbage.
You're not wrong, though.
I need to see Yipes, Combo Fiend, Sanford.
It was Keats and Bucktooth.
All right, well.
Yep.
I mean, that's all right.
And here we are. Looks like Seth Killian was involved in it as well. I can work with Seth Killian. Joe Epstein was involved pretty heavily with the West Coast Capcoms. Might be one of those folks who wasn't like this crazy big player, but did a lot of other things pretty well.
Right.
Like Soul Calibur 3, and then of course the ultimate Marvel 3 guy. Look how big that bad boy is. Let's see here. Joe Epstein, Campbell Tran, Adam Dietz, Daniel Maniaggio, Ian Rogers, Josh Richardson, and Logan Sharp. Do you have a shout out for Yipes back here?
And Hudat brought up a good point, but there was a Third Strike guide that was really good too.
Oh, that's right. The Third Strike guide was super good. Because before you had to get the MOOCs. Remember the magazine books from Japan? You had to wait for them to be scanned.
Yep.
Those were incredible. Remember? Oh man, do you remember the Guilty Gear strategy videos that they used to put out? I think it was Arcadia Magazine put out like this CD that went like with an issue, and it had like a little 8 to 12 minute strategy guide, combos, everything for each Guilty Gear character. It was
wow, that's pretty dope.
The thing was crazy. Oh, here, Joe Epstein was Dr. Delight, Bucktooth, Adam Dietz. Keats' old name was Kamui. Daniel Maniaggio, that's Clockwork, that's right. Lord Hedonism, blah, blah, blah. I don't see any shout-outs to Yipes in here. Here we go, hold on. Let's see who Clockwork's shouting out. Chris Lee, Shady K, Y2J, Wentinel, James Chen. There it is, IFC, Yipes, Mike Watson, Mike Ross, Combo Fiend, Kugi, Project Giant Sword. Hey.
Okay. Yeah.
So look at that. 2011 is when Yipes was at the very least in the halls of Congress, because that does have a number, I believe.
Yeah.
John, do you know when all this went to shit though?
Social media.
Close. Very close. So I'm glad I got to talk to David about this because I got my dates, so you won't have to worry about me digging this up on the spot.
I got you.
So I'm going to take you on a little journey here. The year is 2012. It's 1 year after that glorious Ultimate Marvel guide, which, by the way, you'd buy that because you were trying to show support for the game and the scene. And back, we still understood, a lot of us that were children of the 80s and 90s where we understood the old marketing model of It has to be built for toys and all kinds of other things. When you look at Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, like if you were to pitch a cartoon, you had to have a whole toy line ready to pitch as well.
Easily.
I mean,
toys, cereal.
Oh God, the cereals!
Yeah,
I didn't even think about the cereals. Holy crap!
Yeah, and then like fast food deals, things like that.
Snacks.
Like, you got to look at that broad spectrum, bro.
Look at Paw Patrol. Paw Patrol's got little fruit snacks and Capri Sun, little Paw Patrol Capri Suns.
Tell me, man.
So, but there was one particular game that came out in 2012. Well, yep, the game came out in 2012. Actually, come to think of it, nope. I'm sorry. It was either 2012 or 2013. It might be 2013, but it's one of those 2 years. A particular game came out in the U.S. on February 24th. It was released in Europe and Japan, March 2nd. Now, I bring up those dates for a reason. They'll come into play later. Those are important. So remember, y'all, February 24th, March 2nd. I almost forgot. So February 24th, March 2nd. I have in my hand a strategy guide that I had not been this impressed since I was younger, and I saw a Final Fantasy VI strategy guide that a friend of mine had back when we only knew it as Final Fantasy III. It was this effing thick, had the entire monster encyclopedia, had literally every single thing in the game. Everything. It was like 600 some odd pages. It was, I would just sit there and go through it, and I was just fascinated. Till then, no one else had ever made a guide anywhere near that good. Until Soul Calibur 5 made this. This is a little hardcover book, so they put some effort into this.
Yeah, that's pretty ridiculous.
I mean, this is thick. It's thick. This is like Esther Baxter, okay?
Thick.
This thing's gonna be dancing on the car. I like it, Daddy.
Oh, man.
People are in Google right now. Be like, I'm gonna find out who Esther Baxter is tonight. But I mean, John, look at.
Sheesh, man.
I mean, just look at the verbiage here. Like how in depth they're going in. I mean,
that looks like a book that you need to buy for college.
It's like a textbook. John, this thing is like they have in depth sections on. This is in depth section of the storyboards. Like. It has everything. It's got all this stuff. So then we keep going, and we'll hit a character section. We've got our little BS damage, throw, speed rankings, little character overview, playstyle focus, meter usage. We've got our artwork. We've got some core stuff. Stance, attack analysis, where we've got the frame data, the damages. It's probably a little hard to see here, but let's see if we get a little closer so folks can kind of get an idea. But all this super in depth, and I mean, primary attacks, secondary attacks. So they kind of gave you an effective, like these are your effective moves. Like this is what you're going to be going to a lot.
Right.
Throws, brave edge attacks, critical edge, like all these things with multiple inputs, combos, ukemi traps, which Okazemi and Soul Calibur,
Ukazumi or whatever they call
ukemi.
it.
Yeah, they call it ukemi. Wall combos, And then we've got a strategy section here on how to apply your offense. Okazemi specifically, ringing out, guard burst, defensive style, spacing and positioning, your effective ways to break guard, like some of your best guard bringing attacks, fighting against the character, key attacks to look out for when you're fighting against that character.
Dude, that is literally a textbook.
And then we've got, name of the move, input, level, high, mid, low, damage. When it, the frame data, on block, on hit, the guard damage that it does, the properties, and so on.
Hey, Naomi.
So, John, I mentioned earlier that I completely forgot Devilgen was in the damn game.
Oh yeah, that's right. Was it like that weird kind of collab, but not a collab?
Yeah, I mean, it's even got like the character profiles are still listed back here. We've got all of the customs at the time. John, the game came out February 24th.
Right.
March 2nd if you were in Europe or Japan. Guide was out on release. Guide was actually out before release.
Mm.
What do you think happened? First off, before we say what we all know happened, how much work and time went into this? How much time? How much effort? How much money?
Too much. Way too much.
John, you remember Tekken 5, right?
Mm-hmm.
You remember when it hit arcades?
Roughly, but yeah.
It was November of 2004, I think. I think you might be right. I think it's 2004. You're right. It was it was late November 2004. It might have been 2005. Either way, what happened?
I'm looking at that.
What happened? What happened with Tekken 5? We got a Tekken 5.1, didn't we? Why did that happen?
Initial release was 2004.
November 24th, 25th, something like that? 2005?
February 24th. Oh wait, no, that was for PS2. That was for PS2. But November. It just says November 2004.
So, but you got to the next point.
Yeah.
What was so different about Tekken 5 when it hit arcades? What was so different about it?
The fact that
it's $16,000 cabinet that you had to buy.
Man, the cabinet, the cards, the
You had to buy the cabinet. You had to buy the cards. The cabinets were $16,000. Some arcades bought two.
Mm-hmm.
So they got those bad boys end of November. The end of February, 4 months later.
Games on console.
But
see, the funny part is like that was the normal cycle for fighting games.
Wait like a year and a half though. It never hit that quick, especially like with.
Well, I mean, for Tekken, but like for other fighting games, they dropped like in really short order. Like they were in arcades. Like, I mean, it was almost like movie to video dates at that time. It was like games weren't in the arcade very long, just because they probably felt like in America arcades were dying or they were starting to die off.
That, and even then though, if you think about it, you're just paying $1,000 or so for the board, aren't you? You're not paying 16 grand. You're not paying for a new stock Honda.
Yeah. I mean, the cabinet was innovative especially for something that was released in America.
Oh, that thing was amazing. You finally play with your pad. You didn't have to deal with if I had my pad, though. If I have my pad, I'd be getting you. Go! I got my pad right here. Let's go.
Yeah.
I mean, I love the card system. It was incredible. But 4 months to recoup 16 grand when you're charging people 50 cents to $1 a game.
Yep.
Hey, that ain't happening. That's why Tekken 5.1 came out, because arcade owners were livid. So Bamco was like,
and you got to think about it. You got to think about it. Japan arcades are like heavy. That's heavy business.
Mm-hmm. So that's why they rushed 5.1. But then we played 5.1. We were like, this is garbage. I don't want anything to do with this.
Garbage. Actual garbage.
Like, probably one of, if not the worst Tekken in the series. Like, it was bad.
But to be fair, it was needed. It was a necessary evil, because Nina was doing this through the entirety of that game. It was her son, and who else? Fang. Fang was a terror.
Brian,
yeah.
Nina, Steve, Fang, Brian, Heihachi, Devil Jin. I'm missing one. There's one more. I know Nina, Steve, Brian were like, Nina was in her own world. Steve had the Steve
Heihachi.
had the infinite.
Heihachi with the 10 frame, like almost Half-Life Punisher. Yeah, no.
221 442.
Yep.
Yeah, that game was silly. Roger Jr. was fun though.
Man, I hate that character so bad. You and friggin' Jermaine.
Oh, I would just wait for Jermaine to do stuff and then steal it. I'd be like, that's mine now. Be like, oh, that's cool. Thanks, Jermaine. You do all the hard work. People are like, where'd you learn that? I
made it in a lab.
Just freestyling, you know. I was inspired. I was looking at a box of some scary mashed potatoes, and it just spoke to me. But so I brought all that up because, again, John.
Textbook, literally.
How much? Again, how
dude,
much does it cost to put that together?
That is, yeah.
I mean, and there's not a lot of names on this credits page. So the people that worked on this,
that's the credits page.
Hard, yeah. That's it.
This.
Wow. Made in Germany. They worked them folks super hard. Let's see if Kayani's in here.
Can you imagine crunch time? Trying to crunch on that. And that means somebody was documenting the
ready for the price. $25.
25.
That's it. I thought it was gonna be 30. When I told Eric, I was like, it's probably like $30. She thought it was 50.
I mean,
$25.
If you think about it, though, with inflation, it probably technically is about $50. But still, that's still not nearly enough.
You know what? That's actually very fair because this, the Ultimate Marvel guy was $19.99. So this was like $5 more for a hardcover.
For a hardcover premium, like, yeah.
So we talked about the date, February 24th, March 2nd. I think we all know where this is going. Mm-hmm. When did the first Soul Calibur patch drop?
Dude,
April 13th.
Okay, thank you. Because
April 13th. Did the results
was that
the patch notes?
Was that version?
Patch notes went live.
Soul Calibur 2 version B?
1.03. It was version 1.03.
That's right.
That was when they released it. That guide was good for all of 2 months. Yeah, half the time that arcades had to recoup their Tekken money. 2 months. They made them German dudes work all that time, put in all that effort for information that was only valid for 2 months. And they didn't have what you were talking about earlier with the digital one. That's why I brought it up.
Yeah.
That seems like something that could have at least been, on the side here. But that's, we don't have that now. Like, it's so hard to, like.
I mean, it's crazy when you think about it, though. Like, we do, but it's all dependent on content creators to, like, go and do the work. So.
And it's funny you mentioned the content creators. We rely on them. It's almost like we rely on them to do marketing for new seasons.
Yeah. I mean, it's free labor when you think about it.
We've talked about this before with David and JC. Cut the cost of cut the cost of operations, cut the labor.
Facts.
Get less people to do more. I was blown away when I started thinking about it, because it was just like, man, I do miss that. Like, no, y'all gonna play this for this long, deal with it.
That's it. No patches, no updates, no nothing. You just deal with the game.
Because it forced you to accept reality. And I think that was something that we're losing more and more of as we create these echo chambers and we.
Well, that's what I was saying with, like, me and, like, say Guilty Gear. Hell, I could probably play Guilty Gear if I really wanted to, but it's not a game for me. My mind doesn't work well playing Guilty Gear. I can watch it all day, but my hands and, everything else, they don't work well with that. So. And that's what I mean with, like, people constantly trying to force the game to work for them. you know, and it's like they get upset because it's like, oh, well, this isn't what I want. Well, it's like, well, I might have to play a different game.
Life isn't what you want. Get
Facts.
comfortable being uncomfortable.
Facts.
You know, that's the thing that kills me too. Like you have people who are like, I get asked all the time, why do you play? Even Erica asks me, why do you still play Gigas? Why do you do that? And she's like, you seem like you have so much more fun when you play Marduk or Fakum Ram. Like whenever you play Gigas, you seem to be just so frustrated,
visibly agitated.
Yeah, visibly agitated, like not having a good time, like, and you know, I look her over in the eye and I'm like, you of all people should know that I am loyal. So, like, so first and foremost, respect my loyalty, respect the good qualities that I have. We don't have many here, but let's claim the ones we do. But the other thing is that, like for me, I was talking to a user on Twitter earlier, Rec, and he's like, why? So why do you play Giga still instead of with these other characters? And I'm like, well, because I like to do Veltudo cancel combos. I can't do them online, so I get mad, I get frustrated, and even though he doesn't need them anymore because he's got the tech trap juggle, like I like that as part of my game. Like I know some people think that Veltudo cancel combos are like hard. Like I don't think they're hard. Like there's just something that you have to do.
But to be fair, you have years of muscle memory, so things like that. Just I mean,
Very
I get
rusty muscle memory.
It's still there. It don't matter. It may got some. You know, may take a couple extra seconds for it to come out, but it's still there. Like people tell me that at work all the time is like, you know, when it comes to like tech stuff, it's like, oh, well, it's like you make it look easy because it's second nature. You know,
Yeah.
it's part of your process. Exactly. You know. So to you, yeah. To you, yeah. Me, I'd probably look like an idiot and just switch back to Paul.
But it's just not being able to do that. It doesn't feel as fun. It feels like I've got weights on.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't. It
doesn't feel like you're playing the same game.
Exactly. And it's something that's just simple as like doing juggles. Like, but it really interfered with my enjoyment of the game that much. And I mean, I love playing Fakum Ram. Everybody hated playing against him.
Yeah,
you know, but I had fun playing him. And you know, ultimately with Gigas, so like I can still play Gigas online. I can play Fakum Ram online. Hopefully now with the improved netcode, I'll be able to play Marduk online and with the PC. Now that we have all the parts are being assembled, we're about to assemble the Infinity PC.
Who that brought up a good point though. He said people have been spoiled now with patches. There's a group of people now who will literally quit a game until they patch the character the way they like. Back in the day, we had no choice and just played around with it. And I mean, that's true. Like I said, it's like if I couldn't get into the game or I couldn't get into a character, I just watch.
He's exactly right. Look at the response to season 4. League players, I'm quitting this game. They're never going to make League better.
But dude, like, what's funny is people do that every season, so it's not even surprising. Like I don't even listen to that stuff anymore. It's like they do this. I'm not playing the game anymore. It's like all right. I mean, sorry.
That's exactly what I was getting at with learning to accept things. You know, we had no choice but to deal with it. I couldn't sit there and wait and hope that I was toxic enough on Twitter to get the changes that I want implemented. You know, like that wasn't an option for us.
Nah.
You know, like I mean, some people are like, I'll do it anyways. I'll tag Harada and Michael Murray and, you know, send them a bunch of like penis pics or something like that. And it's just like, okay, cool. Like you're the reason that he hates the FINA players though.
Facts.
So like,
it's like, this is why they hate the internet.
You know, and it's funny too, because people with the internet, this is one of the greatest tools for communication that we've ever had in our lifetimes, ever.
Still a mistake.
Why are people's communication skills degenerating? Why is nobody seeking to understand? Why is everybody seeking to respond? I don't get it. I don't get it. And but you know what though? That's why they suck at Tekken, because they're waiting to respond. You can't punish. Learn how to break throws. You son of a bitch! Like, get in the training mode. That's how you do it.
Nah,
that's why you're garbage.
Nah, I gotta get on and go straight into ranked. No, I don't need to know combos and things. Juggles are for tryhards and guys who just stay in their basement all the time and don't play anything else or go outside like I do and make money. So I hop on the internet and scream into the echo chamber about how much better they are, but I should be better than them because I don't play any.
Oh my god! Oh, tell me how this makes you feel. You know, we already did talk about this a little bit earlier, but specifically this line, or not this specific line, but here we go. Let me set the stage for you.
All right.
You're playing somebody. They are equal skill level, give or take a weight class, and you win. And you win off some bullshit. Like, towards the end, there's a scramble coming. You're like, I bet this son of a bitch is going to go for my ankles. And then you throw the Hail Mary full of grace, and you take the round.
That's why I coined the phrase hope kick.
Mm-hmm. How does it make you feel when that person tells you that you shouldn't have done that in that situation?
Oh, you don't know how many times I've heard that. And I tell them every time, I'm like, dude, number one, my reactions may not be great all the time, but I got eyes. I can see. I knew you were going low. There was no reason for you to go any other way. I was like people tell me that all it was like, oh, you just mashed top kick. I was like, no, I literally knew you were going low because you weren't doing anything else. Like, you were going all mids.
There was no other option coming. What
did
you expect?
It's like you were doing nothing but mids. I knew you were going to try to go low to poke me, or you always do a heavy low. They fall in the flow charts. So it's like, if I know the flow chart's coming, I'm going up. You just got to hold that.
I don't get that, dude. How are you going to advise me to do something that would lose?
Facts. Because they don't. It's, and that's one thing that I really do take issue with the FGC is like, people don't believe they should lose in a lot of situations. Like, they accept.
That's all you're supposed to do.
Yeah, they accept the loss from known good players, but they don't accept the loss from somebody that they, in their mind, feel that they should be able to beat them. Now, granted, there are a lot of situations where it's like, it's your match to lose, but at the same time, it's your match to lose. So if you lost, it's on you. I mean, you gotta hold that. If I play against somebody who knows the Paul matchup in and out, and I do something stupid and I lose, I can't blame nobody but myself, because it's like, well, I should have did something different or just played my game. I can't be like, well, you just punished me every time I threw a move out, and then go on scrub quotes and have and then have Twitter laugh at me. So
we got receipts.
So it's just, things like that just kind of baffle me about people. It's just that mindset of, I shouldn't ever lose to something that's stupid. Like, because people lose to stupid stuff all the time. Like, we've seen it plenty of times in tournament. We've seen it plenty of time in casuals. Like, you just get hit with something dumb, and you're just like, damn, I really got hit with that. And you just got to hold that. You can't be mad at nobody but yourself.
You really can't. And it's crazy. It's crazy how that's the common thing now. If you think back to, the days of the message boards, where it was very, it was the passionate individuals. There was that understanding of, I mean, yeah, you could play by the book, by the textbook, but if I know that's how you're going to play, like, if I know that's how you're going to approach, I'm going to destroy you because I already know what you're going to do. You're going to do the safest, most reliable options. And guess what? I've labbed. I know exactly which direction to step, and you're not going to figure it out. Oh,
Facts.
you have to only a couple moves that can reach me too if I go this way? Okay.
It's like you see them. They have the flow chart in their hands, and you see them reading through it. All you gotta do is just tear one page out. You tear the page out before they can read it, and they don't know what to do. Like I was playing a Huarang player the other day, and quite literally, I mean, it was just straight flow chart, just kept doing the same strings and everything, and it was like playing a computer. Like that's how bad it was if I backed off and made him think, he just shut down. He didn't know what to do. It was only when we were like face to face engaging, and then that's when he started hitting the buttons. But then when I punished him for everything, he shut down again. It was just like, I mean, it was literally like playing the computer. That would be
worse than the AI. Ugh.
And like those are the people who hop on the internet and complain about how good a character is or how bad a character is, or this needs nerfs, or why can't this character do this, or blah 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 blah. And it's just I don't know. Like nobody wants to adapt anymore. Nobody wants to try to figure it out. Like people go in the lab, but then it's just like they lab for
show.
Yeah, they lab for show, lab for clout, lab for I can get 90 damage off of this low. Oh, okay, but do it in the middle of a match. Like show me that.
That's like the equivalent of you've seen like, or I guess you probably heard people say like he practices his touchdown dances more than he actually practices. That's what that is.
I mean,
that's you out there trying to hit the nay, but you can't hit a pass. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, exactly. It's like you don't even know how to hold the ball, so why are you practicing?
Out here trying to break the internet, but you can't break throws.
Facts. So I don't know where that mindset really started, because in the arcades, I mean, there were people like that in the arcades, but I feel like it wasn't as bad. Like, I feel like people didn't take it as seriously. But I mean, you've seen like the random drama, FGC drama that just like kind of pops up, and people have whole drawn out threads over, oh, well, I should beat so and so player, and like this person should never beat this person, and like this person's garbage because all he does is so and so, and like I said, I hate to be the old man yelling at the clouds, but I just feel like it was just different. Mainly, probably because you're in person and somebody could jaw jack you if they really wanted to. But it just felt like people had more respect, like a mutual respect. Even if they didn't even like each other, they had more of a mutual respect when it came to the game. Quiet, you
mentioned that those folks were they were quiet in the arcades. They didn't voice like, oh, that was so cheap. I mean, if they did, they usually had several people being like, nah, fam, you just got dragged.
Right.
Leave it alone. Part of me wonders if it's to me, it almost sounds like those it sounds like folks that became a little more free with some of their beliefs that might not have been acceptable. But then for the last 4 years, they've been a little brazen.
Yeah,
a
little energized. Yeah,
it's almost that same scenario where I'm not gonna say what I feel, out in the open, because I know I'm gonna get just blasted for it. But okay, let me look around first. You know what I think? I think you're cheap.
Yeah.
That's what we should do right now. For scrub quotes, we got to read it and like just the most, like the voice has to drip with racism. What you doing around here? Competitive player?
Why are you playing on that wired connection?
You play on the Wi-Fi. The good Lord's intangible. Why can't my internet connection be?
It's 2020. We should be able to play on Wi-Fi whenever we want. It's like, you can play on it all you want.
I bet you he plays when it should be the Lord's Day. He about to go a country mile just try and get some games. Like we gotta make like scrub quotes like super bad, or even worse, we can maybe add a little Jersey Shore flair to it, just to make it super douchey.
Or like maybe like a North Boston. What is it? North Boston?
Oh,
yeah,
God,
North Boston. Like let's get someone with just like a sewer mouth of an accent and just have them read it. just like I have never heard that description in my life, and that is absolutely hilarious.
Like someone who's like from Long Island and it's just like a real thick accent.
Oh,
it's just
gosh.
Like, are you like where you look at them, you got to ask questions, and then you get to know them. They're like, no, they're real cool. They're just the voice puts you off,
Just audibly off-putting.
Or even better, because that family's going to need some money. We can see if Melania wants to read scrub quotes.
Oh gosh.
Pay her a few bits like we have to pay that man Ed Roppel.
Mm-hmm.
I had to pay Ed some bits to make him say something nice about Rhode Island, and then he made it a lot more expensive to cash in those bits. And I was like, damn it! It's like, how dare you make me compliment the state of Rhode Island?
Who that said ain't no wires when I connect to heaven?
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
I connect to the Lord on Wi-Fi. God sent me an instant message over the cloud. Why can't he send you?
Terrible.
But we gotta find some way to like make it not attractive, and like not even in like a contradictorian type way where it's like,
yeah,
ethnic slur, and it's like, oh, you're trying to die. Hi, buddy. Yeah, and the cat joined the fray. Oh. You gonna jump down on him?
Oh,
you gonna pounce?
No, he ain't doing nothing.
Yeah,
he's comfortable.
He's not gonna. He might ooze off the counter.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Hey, thickness.
That unit ain't going nowhere.
Is he eating all the food, HB? Is that why you're breathing heavy? This is Heisenberg. We call him HB, and we missed out on calling him Heisenper, which would have been great.
Oh my gosh!
But now we can call him HBK for Heartbreak Kitten.
Oh my! I'm about to end this call right now.
You're the only good orange, aren't you, buddy? That's right. You're the only good orange with a fupa. That's right.
Terrible.
Speaking of fupas, can we talk about that man Bob and how strong he is now?
Dude, like I said, I have not booted up the game in probably about 3 or 4 days, so I haven't even touched season 4 at all. I've just been sharing
sharing everything,
the despair and the occasional joy. So,
have you seen the some of the Bob changes? Have you heard about them?
Yeah. No, I've heard plenty. And
what do you think? Just on the surface of no, unfollow.
See, that's what you get. But yeah, I mean, just a lot of the changes that I've seen. And I mean, people do have legitimate concerns as far as some of those changes, because I mean, some of them really don't make sense. But I mean, it's like I've gotten to the point where it's like, what can you do?
Like, it almost feels like they felt like they had to do something for
No, that's literally what it is. Is like it's like, say you get a meal at somebody's house and you have it and they ask you, it's like, how is it? And it's like, well, I mean, it's pretty good, but it could use a little of this or, a little bit of that. And they're like, okay. So next time they come back and they've tripled all the ingredients and it don't make no sense. And I mean, that's what they did with season 4. It was like, well, people were complaining about this, so let's give this. And then, well, this character doesn't need anything, but people have said that before, when we buff another character, this character might suffer, so we'll just give them something so they can keep up. And it's like, we've actually said not to do that. It's like, either make everybody dumb or just minor tweaks, not full blown give this character a move that they never should have had in the first place.
How do you feel about? So one thing that I think they tried.
Hey, what's up, Darren?
To do with this one was that part of me thinks that they tried with this approach. I think they tried to give something new to everybody. Like, everyone's got to have 1 or 2 new moves. And then I think from there they went and they looked at some of the changes and they looked at who's really strong, what can we take away, who's considered weak, and what do they already have, but it sucks to everybody, compared to everybody else's.
Right.
For example, Heihachi's tsunami kicks being launch punishable, like, well, that sucks for him.
Yeah.
But then, like, it doesn't make sense at the same time, though, because, like, so another example I could use here, Gigas back 1+2. So headbutt launches on counter hit now, gives the bounce launch, basically like Brian's back one. Probably has similar frames.
Okay.
So makes sense, on paper.
Yeah.
Okay, this makes perfect sense. And they gave him the ability to shift into stance afterwards. And I mean, it's only a couple. I mean, you can be uninterruptible with the launching shoulder that's -13.
Yeah.
But he's got a new low that's 20 frames. The shoulder, his little advancing shoulder, is also 20 frames. So same, and they look the same too. So it's like a legit like 50-50,
right,
especially on the wall, because that low will catch you whichever way you go.
Yeah.
But it seems like they just tried to take characters and take what do they already do well, and how can we make that even better? They buffed the Goliath one that he has. Is standing for, and it was sensical. It was things that made sense, that were quality of life changes for the low tier characters. But when it came to upper mid, it just seems like they were just like, F it, let them have it.
Just have give them whatever they want.
Yeah, and then it's like, like, how are you expecting the bottom to come up when you're raising the mid so high? No, but I don't think is there any character that you're hearing so far that got nerfed to
unplayable status?
Yeah.
I mean, I've heard bad things about Jin.
That's Jin players.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah.
I've got nothing but love for almost all the Jin players. I can think of like 1 or 2 who don't even play the game anymore, who I don't care for. They didn't even play Jin anymore. Yeah, Jin Master doesn't even play Jin. So
I don't think he ever did, but yeah. He didn't the
very beginning.
Yeah, and what in tag maybe.
And what's going on? Oh, come here. You're gonna say goodnight to the little dude. Hi, buddy.
Memphis.
Say goodnight, Memphis.
Say good night.
Say
that's good enough. It's good enough.
Yeah, that's right. You wanna come? Yeah, come on through.
I'm gonna get a beverage.
Only if you get me one. Can I have a rum and Pepsi?
Rum and Pepsi? What?
If I wanted battery acid, I'd drink Coke. I'm just saying. Listen, Pepsi's Mountain Dew, and
I mean,
Bell.
Yeah, Mountain Dew, and that's about it.
This is true. Wait, who's got Dr. Pepper? Is that Coke or is that Pepsi?
Dr. Pepper is independent.
Oh, they are independent. Oh, interesting. They just all the grocery stores are just lazy and loop them in on the sales.
Pretty much. I mean, because they'll be at Coke accounts and at Pepsi accounts. So
I did not realize it. I thought Mr. Pibb was Coke's.
Mr. Pibb is Coke's in-house, yes.
What about, hold on, is Cheerwine independent still, or are they owned by anyone?
I think Cheerwine is independent.
Shoot, I could go for some Cheerwine and Bojangles.
Ugh.
I had Bojangles earlier.
Cheerwine, who drinks that garbage?
You can taste the syrup. It's
Ugh.
like when you go to the fast food places and they hold the syrup part down for a little bit
Yuck.
to the bottom of the cup, and then they get
Terrible.
John sounds like you, or he's just Erica, she does not like that. She'll sit there and have a sip and say, "Oh,
Start a GoFundMe for his taste buds. Ugh.
yeah." They're like, "Oh, my toe fell off. Oh no." Oh,
No,
you know
but
about
like
some Cheerwine though.
Yeah, no, I'd stay away from that. That and Tab. I don't mess with Tab either.
I'm just breaking Hudat's heart relentlessly. Just like, HB Heartbreak Kitten, and now rum and Pepsi.
Yeah, nah.
Ew.
I might have to block you.
See, that's what I thought, Mac.
Well, like I said, generally they are with at Pepsi accounts, but like I said, Coke accounts will have them too, since it's independent. So, like with national chains, like some of them will have Dr. Pepper as opposed to Mr. Pibb.
That's where that little sweets money is so good, I'm guessing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but...
You're gonna have to get actually no, there's a glass in here.
Oh, I got you.
No, I got it.
There.
I got it.
I forgot I was standing in front of the glasses. I'm sitting in front of the glasses.
And the only reason why I know this is because I work for Coca-Cola. So
see, look at that. You come on with me. I got you towing the party line.
right.
By the way, this is what we're drinking tonight. So if Hudat wants to be extra disappointed, we got the blackout. Blackouts.
But
speaking of anime references, have you caught up on Fire Force yet?
yes, I have.
Hey,
Dude, why?
Caught up on the anime yet? But
What about I've caught up on the anime.
That man, the Ashen Reaper.
That little side story was hilarious.
That joke was crazy.
No, have you watched Jujutsu Kaisen? Have you been watching that?
I've heard of it.
Please watch that. Please. It's on
Crunchyroll?
Crunchyroll, yes. Please watch
Okay.
that. Lord have mercy. Dude, that anime is probably one of the top animes going right now.
Should he be asleep when I?
Yes.
He be asleep?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
The one you were just actually pointing out the other night. That one more time, John. Is it Jujutsu or Jujutsu?
Jujutsu Kaisen.
Jujutsu.
Yeah.
Jujutsu Kaisen.
Right?
Is it scary?
I mean, there's parts of it where there's like kind of demons and sorcery type stuff. No. It's mostly action. It's kind of
That's supposed to be really scary. Oh,
it's similar to God of High School.
I'm trying to stay.
I haven't gotten to see.
You haven't seen God of High School either?
I saw like the first few minutes.
Oh my
I
god!
hadn't gotten to watch it.
How are you gonna get on me about not catching up on Fire Force and you ain't caught up on like half of the top animes that are playing right now? Yeah, you better sip your drink.
I'm sorry, I was enjoying my drink. What were we talking about?
Sheesh.
Have you started on the manga at all? For Fire Force?
I mean, I had started from the beginning, but like I said, I asked you if I should start from the beginning or just start from whatever the latest episode is.
I'm impressed with how well the anime stuck with the manga.
Oh yeah,
yeah. Demon Slayer as well. I finally finished.
I need to get on Demon Slayer. I've been slacking on that one.
Watch the anime. Watch the anime because by the time you probably get through the
well, no,
series,
I've gotten through the first season of Demon Slayer, just not the.
Okay.
I haven't started the manga.
Oh, when the movie, wait for the movie.
Oh, okay. All right.
It's gonna be all canon, all in sequence.
Gotcha.
And then I've got it. I haven't gotten completely caught up on, so I'm like 4 chapters behind right now on My Hero, but I got a spoiler, and I called that junk the moment I saw it.
Well,
the moment I saw this, I was just
don't spoil it because I haven't read it yet.
I bet this is this, and I got it.
That's what I heard. Like in one of the other group chats I'm in, it was like the reveal was kind of obvious. So
yeah,
I'm catch up.
you know, like what was funny though is that I missed the obvious clue. Like there's a scene that they flashed a couple times, and that like, you know, I noticed I was like, wait a minute, and it's just like, oh yeah, oh that makes sense. No, I called that shit before you came in the room. I'm just gonna say that. I gotta get caught up on oh man, not get caught up on. I before we moved out of the apartment, I ended up I think I'm like 2 episodes from finishing the first and only season. I watched Keijo, I think it's called. Keijo the bro, that
man, don't give me TOS.
Was so funny.
Don't give me TOS, please.
John, no, like you actually have to see it because like the first episode, like the first 2 episodes, they're actually trying really hard like to follow like that shonen formula. But
and then it just degenerates from there.
Bro, there's a girl who's got the fastest hip attack in Japan, and in order to hit higher velocity, higher speeds, she has to lessen the resistance. I kid you not, she hits a pose like she's on the Ronin Warriors and says like G max velocity, and it hikes her bathing suit up and her butt crack. I almost peed myself. Oh my god, I was crying. I was losing my mind. And then Erica made me laugh even harder because she was upset. And she's just like, there are people that are pausing this right now and rewinding it and then getting sick pleasure out of it. And that made me laugh even harder because I'm just like, ah!
I think I need to stop the stream. I think I need to stop the stream.
No, this is why you can't have me for extended periods.
No, I see that now. I see that now. Sheesh.
Bro, they tried so hard, and the best part is it's like I'm convinced that it's like a running gag throughout the series because they're like labeling attacks and like it's so like the shonen formula is real. Like I'm hoping it's on purpose like that because it is so damn funny. I got the only other thing that I've watched is Dr. Stone. Dr. Stone was
I haven't started it yet. I need to. I hear it's really good.
I can see you digging it. Okay. I can see it not being like something super hype for you, but one of those things like you ever watch I'm trying to think of a good example. It's like a TV show where there's not a lot of action, but so much happens that like you're physically tired. Like the first time I watched House of Cards did that to me, where there's just like
right.
They're throwing stuff at you, and it's just like, I mean, there's no buildings being blown up, and then the end of an episode, you're like, Jesus Christ, oh my God, who's Kevin Spacey gonna touch next? But like, it has that type of pacing where it's like, shoot, it feels like a lot happened in 20 minutes.
Right. Okay. Well, yeah, I think I'd enjoy that then.
Yeah, it's a welcome change of pace from the shows like My Hero. It will do it sometimes. Fire Force doesn't do this, thankfully, but My Hero's real bad about this, where they will have an entire episode that it's like here's the first half of something. It's like the end of the last big thing, and we get through all the closing.
Yeah, typical shonen stuff.
Yeah, like they'll at least give you like an episode to kind of set up the next one. Like
sometimes
Hero does like we close and then now we're into the next one, and you're just sitting there like, what?
Yeah. It's like what happened on that last one? Because
why?
Yeah,
we moved so fast. I mean, we're already here. And then they ended on was so crazy. You're like, I don't know what happens, but I'm still processing emotionally.
Right.
Well, Dr. Stone is really good with their cliffhangers because of like how much, to me it feels like there's so much in there. And then when there is that, like when they have those types of episodes, you're just like, Oh, thank God! I was trying to get off the ride. Like my hat fell off. I'm sure my keys are somewhere underneath the roller coaster. What happened?
Terrible.
Yeah.
So anything?
He got that Pepsi up in him.
So
nothing really of a. Don't really have anything of interest other than thank you so much for once again carrying the show.
I do what I do.
I'm gonna as soon as we get all set up.
I think once your internet is good, you'll probably be all right. Because I think that's really what it was. Is probably your upload speeds weren't high enough to support video and stuff like that.
You know, it's funny. It's funny you're saying that because my upload speeds were hitting up 700.
Really?
I had higher upload speeds than I did download speeds. I was capping out like 300 download. I was capping out like 700 on the upload.
That's weird.
It made like I said, I had a new tech. He was motivated. In fact, every time he, I click on something and it didn't come out the way it was supposed to, he just goes, "I'm not happy." He's like, "Okay, well, we got this, but I'm not happy." And I'm like, "I like you, Jack. I like you."
Yeah. See, you caught him. You caught him fresh. Yeah, you caught him fresh because he's gonna be disgruntled in the next like 6 to 9 months. Believe me, that was me. That was me back in the day when I was a cable guy. You know, I was all happy, ready to work and everything, and then you get jaded. It happens.
I think he got spoiled because he got me. So he got some of his tech savvy.
Dude. When you get customers that like will kind of let you do what you need to do, but then are also helpful, that makes the job so much easier.
I tell them all the same thing. I'm like, look, I'm gonna vent to you first because I'm pissed, but I also understand that you're not the one who did it. You're fixing it for me. Yeah. So I'm gonna get through this, and then they're always like, "Oh, okay," and then afterwards we joke and talk, like
you're the type of customer. You're the type of customer I like dealing with when I was doing cable, because I get some of them that like. They're like 3 and 4 repeat customers, and then when I get there, it's like there was one dude in this one area, and he had called the tech out like anytime he had like fuzz on his TV or anything, or like his internet went out. Yeah. So no, dude, so he had people in and out, in and out, in and out. So I finally go there, and it's one of the things that kind of creeps me out is like. People will open the door, but they won't open the door all the way, and they kind of stand inside the door. So they're like, yeah. So they like, you have to like kind of like inch in sideways to get through the door, and then he closed the door behind me and locked it, and that just.
I thought this was the dude that had the gun.
Oh no! That was a completely different situation.
Behind the door.
No. That was when I was going.
Yeah, you didn't go in that one.
Yeah, no. I probably wouldn't have. I probably wouldn't have came out. But no, that I was cutting that dude's service off, so that was a completely different situation. But no, like he like I had to inch in the door. He came in, like let me in the door, closed the door behind me, locked it, and then was like going through the. Blah 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 blah, et cetera, and it's like, okay, that I'll check what I can, but if it's not doing it now, it's just kind of chasing whatever.
So I got a question for you, actually.
Sure.
I'm glad you brought that up because you reminded me when I had the tech in here today.
Mm-hmm.
I let him in, had a mask on, gave him the spiel, made sure to kind of clear things out best I could.
Yeah.
And then I was like, hey, can I get you anything to drink, or water, or anything?
Mm-hmm.
Almost always it's like, no, thanks, I'm good.
Yeah.
And then I don't know what to do, so I just go to like a completely different room, like on the same floor, but like a ways away, and then I just like post up and chill. And I'm like, I'll just be down here if you need me. Like, I don't want to be in your way. Yeah. But like I mean, what am I gonna do? Like, go upstairs and they just like.
Dude,
act like there's not a stranger in my home. Like I don't know how to handle it, so I just go like post up down there.
To be fair,
chill.
To be fair, it didn't bother me if
I didn't want to sit there like over their shoulder though.
It depended on what they were doing or like what kind of questions they were asking me. Like I didn't mind it sometimes, but then you'd have those people that were like I could feel their eyes like right here, and I'm just like. I just need to work, please. Move away from me. Thank you. but I wouldn't, but I mean, I'm
being undressed with your eyes.
It's like I'm in their house, so it's like there's not much I can really do. But yeah, nah, it's weird sometimes. But like I said, I get it. Like not wanting to just like leave this strange person in your house. Like, no, I totally understand that. But it's like it just depended on what I was doing. Like if I was doing like something simple, like just checking signal or whatever, they could ask me simple questions and stuff. But like some people would be like, oh well, like they're still upset about whatever it was, so they're like still harping on me while I'm trying to work, and it's like, dog, like let me figure it out. Like I heard you the first time when I was coming in the door, like trying to work on it now. I can't help you if you don't move, So
I apologize. I'm like, look, I'm going to tell you what's going on. I'm still processing those, so
yeah.
I'm going to vent a little bit, and I'm gonna depend on you to cherry pick the data that you need out of this.
Exactly.
And like the dude I brought, like the dude that came today, he was cool, but like he was just like super awkward. Like I was just like, you want like say to drink it? He's like, no, we're good. I'm like, all right, cool. And I was just like, all right, man. Well, if you need me, I'm just gonna go over here in the kitchen, so I'm out of your way. I don't want to be over your shoulder or anything, but just in case you need any information, I'm right over here.
Right.
And then like while I was over here, I actually heard him get a call from a customer that he was supposed to see before me, and there's some old man going on about like, you said you sent me a text you were going to be here, and I've been waiting here for an hour and a half. Are you going to come here? And I can hear him. He's like, sir, I was there. It was in the cul-de-sac.
Yep.
You were the house. You were the house with the Trump flags. I rang the doorbell and I knocked twice and I got nothing. He's like, I was sitting 15 feet from the door. No one's rang the doorbell. Well, sir, I rang the doorbell, and the reason I knocked twice was because I looked at the work order, saw it was because you were having Wi-Fi issues, and if your doorbell's hooked up to your Wi-Fi, it's not going to work. And then he got real quiet, and he's like, well, I guess you might have knocked. Then get this. The old man actually said to him, well, I guess you must have knocked while I was, I had walked away to do some working out for just a minute.
I've had customers like that too.
You mean to tell me you were there the whole time?
I've had customers like that too, bro. And see, a lot of times what they'll do, the reason why they do that is because generally when I was doing service calls, it was automatic $45 charge for us to roll the truck. And then like if they had issues with the equipment or whatever, they'd have to pay, unless they had a service called wire maintenance, which was like $5 a month or something like that. So that covered any kind of wiring issues, say like a line on the outside got like cut or something like that. We would come out and do the work and there'd be no charge. So for service calls, whatever the reason, it was automatically $45. Now they could waive it if it was on our end. So if they had the wire maintenance and then like the cable box went bad, we wouldn't charge them. We would just swap out the cable box, and that would be it. But if they did something to it, then that was $45, and then like whatever else, like that the company decided to add on to that. So a lot of
it's gonna be 99 for them to walk in my house.
Yeah. So like a lot of times why they would do that is so they could get the charge taken off. They'd be like, oh well, the tech never came, so you can't charge me, blah 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 blah. So
because when he told me that, he said that he's like, well, I wish you had called me and contacted me, and he said, well, sir, the reason that I didn't was because while I was looking at the work order, I saw that it was no longer assigned to me, that the job was no longer mine. So I figured somebody else is coming out to take care of it.
All right.
And I'm just like,
Trust me, dude. I've dealt with all of them, man.
I figured that was mild. That seemed mild.
That don't even scratch the surface, bro. That don't even scratch the surface.
I remember when you shared that picture of the customer who did the fake snake on the air conditioner.
Mm-hmm. Two of them.
They got jokes.
There was two of them. I had two of them like that. Yeah. I'm telling you, dude. I'm telling you, dude. I had one where it was an older guy. He seemed like probably like a lawyer or something like that. But I did some work on the inside. like tighten up some connections and stuff, and then I told him I was going to check the connection outside. So I go out there, check that, but when I went back to his house, his arm was in a sling. Dude, I was like, oh my god, like, I mean, because I was in his house, he was walking around perfectly fine. No, like, I come back, his arm was in a sling, and I'm just like, I'm waiting for Ashton Kutcher to come out with the camera. I'm just like, man.
It'd be even better if he looked at you. He's like, I got a court date and I got to look good.
Dude, I just didn't. I just didn't want him to like say I assaulted him or something.
Oh man, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, that was my first thought. I was like, oh god.
He's putting the neck brace and the halo on.
Yeah, it's like the cable man came in and he just kicked my door down and just broke my arm. I was like, oh my god.
I made one cable guy movie reference and he just lost and started just whipping me with the Cat 5 cable.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Well, I think that's a good one to end on.
I do appreciate the knowledge now. So take care of your cable, folks. Make sure your crawl space is clean.
Yes, please.
And accessible.
Yes.
Clean and accessible. Well ventilated. If
no,
you can.
No dead animals. No standing water. Anything like that.
Oh man.
I actually got I had actually caught pink eye from going in a crawl space with standing water in it. That shit sucked. That sucked bad.
Just from like being in there, it's just like.
Well, yeah. I mean, it was just like it didn't splash up on me or anything. It was old standing water, and you could tell that like rodents had gotten in it and everything. Yeah. So. Yeah, it wasn't fun.
Yeah. We will definitely end on that. I'm good talking to you.
Yeah, man.
Appreciate you.
Yeah. Later.
Y'all take care.
All right, guys. I appreciate y'all stopping in for TO Talk. We, of course, went on tangents like we always do, but we had fun. I think we had fun. And I hope you had fun, too. So, till next time. Catch y'all later.